Hi, it's Deja from CrochetEverAfter.com, and I'm going to show you how to crochet into the opposite side of your foundation chain. So if you have a pattern that has you work into the foundation chain and then it tells you to work in the opposite side and it's a little confusing for you, this tutorial is going to show you just how to do that. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how to work on the opposite side of your foundation chain, and you're going to do this when you need to make an oval type project or an oval base to something. I'm just going to do single crochets, so I'm going to do single crochets across the top of my foundation chain. It doesn't really matter where you're entering your hook. You're going to be working into all the chains by the end of this round. So I'm going to skip that very first chain as you do for height, and I'm going to just single crochet quickly across this foundation chain. If you've never single crocheted before or worked into a foundation chain, check out those tutorials if you need them. This is going to focus more about working into the back side of your foundation chain. So your pattern may tell you to SC or single crochet in every foundation chain across, or however many foundation chains it tells you, 8 chains across, or to the second to last chain. And then it's going to tell you to, if it's a single crochet, you're going to single crochet 3 times in your last chain. And that's going to make a turn so that you can work into the back side of your foundation chain. So if it just says SC 3 times in last chain, you're just going to single crochet into the very last chain 3 times, like you're increasing. And you'll see that it makes it curve around. So it's curved around and it's made a little half circle. And now you're going to start working into the back of your foundation chain. So if it just tells you to single crochet in the back of your foundation chain across, then you need to figure out where you're going to put your hook. So if you remember this very last chain, you did 3. You don't need to put any more in here because the first of the 3 was the stitch for this side, the second of the 3 made the turn, and then the third of the 3 is the first stitch for this back side of the foundation chain. So I need to go into the very next stitch, which is a funny looking kind of loop. So you can either just catch that back loop, and when you do that, let me show you the effect it gets. I'll do a couple so you can see the difference. You're catching just that very back loop that you see. So if you work from just your back loop on the very first side of the foundation chain and grab the back loop on the other side of the foundation chain, it gives you a pretty closed up hole. Now you could also insert your hook under both loops. So if I take both loops, oops, I'm skipping one here. If I take both loops and insert my hook, so you'll see kind of one that goes down and one that comes across, almost like an X. Bring that close. So it kind of looks like an X. If I stick my hook through both of those, the effect that I get is a little bit more open in between both sides. You'll see more of a hole in between. So I like to do just the back loop so that I don't have that big open hole, but whatever's easier for you to see or whatever's easier for you to work into, that's what you can do. Just make sure that you're following the stitch count. Make sure that you have the same amount of stitches that they tell you to have so that you're not adding or subtracting any, because it can get a little bit confusing since these don't look like normal stitches that you work into. Sometimes you might not know where to put your hook and end up adding a stitch over here on the end or on the very beginning, because as you can see it looks really strange over here. So what the pattern should tell you is to single crochet 2 times in your very last stitch, and that's going to make another turn to complete the oval that you're making. So you would do 2 in that same stitch and then either join your round with a slip stitch or work in spirals, whatever it tells you to do. But when it's telling you to work down the back of your foundation chain, that's all it means, is that you're single crocheting back around to make an oval type shape. So that is how you single crochet in your back foundation chain. If you have any questions about it or need clarification on anything, just leave me some comments below and I'll answer those as quick as I can. Or if there's any other type of instructions that you've seen that are confusing to you, leave them below and I'll try to help decipher them so that you can get your project done. So thank you for watching.